All right, welcome back to the big question, in fact, on the club versus country debate. Now, what does the IPL CEO have to say about this? The BCCI so far remains silent on this debate, but this is what the IPL CEO Sundar Raman had to say. He says, and I quote, "I think it's always been up to the player to decide. Firstly, he has to see whether he is fit or not, and the BCCI physio will take a look at the player, and subject to a satisfactory report, he plays. The player knows his body better than anyone else does, and I don't think I want to sit in judgment on that. If the physio believes that the player is not fit to play a game, he would report that and the player would not play the game. Nobody is forced to play. Nobody is forced to play for the country. Nobody is forced to play for their club." Interesting comment there from Mr. Sundar Raman. Let's cut across straight to Hari Shankar Mani. Does that really sort of pass muster with you, Hari? The IPL CEO's statement seemed almost like it was dictated and he's sort of given this out.
See, one thing we should not forget the fact, Sanjay, is that both the organizations are governed by BCCI. The IPL is organized by BCCI. It's a BCCI tournament. And so now they cannot wash their hands off and say it's the players who have to take the call. Now, when you have franchisee owners who are controlling the affairs in BCCI, did any of them stand up and say after the World Cup, for instance, did somebody go and tell Dhoni, you've done very well for the country, you've done us proud by winning the World Cup after so many years, why don't you take a break for 15 days and come back and play the second half of the tournament? None of the franchisee owners will do that because they have invested so much that for them it's a question of recovery. And BCCI has already had its share of the spoils. So now for both of them, what they'll try to do is try to hush it, keep it under wraps and ensure that, you know, the focus shifts to something bigger and focus comes back to cricket. This is a controversy which BCCI would do well to avoid. So I'm sure that that any defense at best is only going to be a defense in vain. I mean, nobody is going to buy into this kind of statements from the CEO or from BCCI. We all know what the truth is, Sanjay.
Interesting point you're making there. In fact, also one of the players, one of the fans there with Krishnamurthy made that statement that others get a chance, that young blood gets to play here. Of course, we've got Abhinav Mukund here from Tamil Nadu. Also the IPL, while we may bash the IPL, no, IPL has also given a chance to a lot of small town players, Ranji Trophy players, in fact, who get a chance to rub shoulders with top international stars.
That's there, but what it has also done is it's ensured that the focus has shifted from those stupid serials that we get to see, you know, the run-of-the-mill stuff. So the focus is definitely shifted to something better. The energies are expended in a far more positive manner as when the IPL is being played. So, I mean, I'm not against IPL, but only thing I hope is that they schedule it in such a way that it doesn't cause, you know, great amount of, you know, damage to the players, because you can't have them playing cricket right through the year. Now, you knew well in advance that after the World Cup, you have a 40-day window, and after that you have two grueling series ahead. I mean, we all talk about the West Indies tour, Sanjay, but for me, the mother of all tours is going to be the tour to England. England today is probably vying with India for the #1 slot in Test cricket, and they're probably right up there. And after that, we tour to Australia. So for me, West Indies, I mean, it hardly matters.
Another important point here. I mean, the entire cricket calendar here of the IPL here, and then almost like, you know, just soon after that, you have to go and board that flight for an overseas tour. Does it have a lot to do with the conflict of interest argument within the BCCI itself?
Yeah, if you lift the like in corporate law, we have lifting the corporate wheel. If you do it here, you will realize that the two organizations are one and the same. Eventually, the interests, what is said there is going to be executed here. So it's time, you know, that we stop fooling the public and telling them that the IPL is an independent organization and BCCI has got nothing to do with the governing affairs of IPL. We all know that I will go a step further and say, Sanjay, that today it is the franchisees who are dictating to BCCI, because having invested so much of money at the end of the World Cup, nobody wanted to lose out on their star players and ensure that the value comes down and the TRPs go down, and in turn they can't make their money. So it's a cycle, it's a vicious cycle, and everybody knows that where everybody's interest lies. So it's time that, you know, we wake up to this reality. And I would also like to respond to the statement, Sanjay, about Natasha talking about money being the sole factor on players playing. Now let's not forget the fact that you get to make good money in IPL only if you do well for the country. I mean, who are the players who get auctioned in IPL and who make the biggest money of them all? The Gautam Gambhir's, the Virender Sehwags, the Sachin Tendulkars, or are all iconic players who have represented their country and done themselves and the country proud. That's when your stock goes up in IPL. So it cannot work the other way around. You cannot say that somebody would have invested all this only for IPL and would be indifferent to the country. I mean, for me, it's preposterous.
All right, Hari, let's also go back to the cricket fans. They've been waiting patiently now. Krishna, what do they say? I mean, are they satisfied if a player sort of goes all out in an IPL sort of carnival, even at the risk of an injury and not being able to play for the national side?
Okay, let me put that question right to one of the fans over here. Do you feel that players playing the IPL, they're playing for money, or players not playing, participating in the national team? Do you feel that IPL take a precedence over national cricket?
No, I certainly not feel, and the players also don't feel that IPL should take precedence over country. Otherwise, you won't see such a big celebration after India winning the World Cup and Sachin feeling so good after making, after taking under his, because his dream was to.
So do you feel that BCCI should also frame a specific guidelines, just like if for national cricket they say that injured players are not playing this cricket. So do you feel that for the IPL also they should also bring out before even actually going to that question, Sanjay, now this is what you heard from one of the fans over here, is saying that it's good that they're actually getting a break from the West Indies tour, because a lot more serious tours are coming up. And
all right, right, Krishna, thank you very much, Krishna, for joining us with that on-the-ground report from fans there. Thank you very much, Hari Shankar Mani, also for joining us. And just to quickly tell our viewers, remember the importance of a West Indies tour. 1971, when you had Sunil Gavaskar making his debut, that memorable victory in 1971 at Port of Spain, and also Sunil Gavaskar inspired a reggae song also after him. But for all that and more, in fact, for more news on this bulletin away from cricket, it's back to Ashmit. Ashmit?
Well, thanks a lot, Sanjay, for that insightful discussion. Of course, this burning issue here, the road ahead for the Indian fans, and of course, the road ahead for cricket, Indian cricket at that. And well, reactions as we saw were coming in. Gambhir, and this is one reaction that we received on the email now. Gambhir seemed to be not fit enough, but yet played in the playoff at the Wankhede, in which KKR lost to Mumbai Indians in a very easy manner. IPL has taken the toll of most of our good cricketers. Club cricket pushes the priority of playing for the country is not in good taste. Now, great former Indian stars like Paulie Umrigar and all used to travel in the suburban trains, and the amount they received for a test match was just 600 rupees. In IPL, you are reigned with money, whether you are hit zero or a ton. That was the reaction coming in from one of our viewers, Mr. S. Venugopalan. Well, on to other news now. Superstar Rajinikanth will be travelling to Singapore for treatment. Now, the actor has been ailing for the last couple of weeks. He was in the ICU for a couple of days with respiratory distress and intestinal disorders. Now, sources say that Rajinikanth's family will accompany him to Singapore on April 29th. On the first day of the shoot of his latest venture, Rana, the actor had suffered from acute exhaustion and was admitted to the hospital. Well, former Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi has now commented on the logjam over the common school syllabus. In fact, now he raised concerns over the postponement of the common syllabus by another academic session. In a press release today, the DMK president has even suggested that if Sen Muriyam, the lyric he had penned for the Tamil Word Conference and which has been printed in a prominent spot in the textbooks, was the bone of contention for the present, his song could be removed, he said, from the textbooks, after which the textbooks could be used in schools. Now, he wondered if it was good governance to set aside textbooks already printed at a cost of 200 crore rupees and giving a fresh order. Well, that's all we have time for in this bulletin, but for more news in action, do keep watching NDTV Hindu.